Hey everybody, Corrine here from Christina Lake Fitness. So I thought I would just jump on today and do a really quick video talking about back pain and sciatica in particular. I'm hearing a lot about this lately. I think up here in Grand Forks and Christina Lake, we've been doing way too much shoveling, and a lot of us are feeling that strain on our lower back. So I'm going to give you 3 simple things you can do every day that are going to help alleviate your back pain, whether it is from sciatica or not, and then we're going to finish with 10 or so simple exercises and stretches that you can also do every day to help strengthen your core and back. So one of the biggest causes of back pain is sitting. Here I am sitting. Sitting is the new smoking term. And basically, when we're sitting all the time, every day, we lose our proper posture, our neutral spine. So many of us, when we're sitting at our desks, I'm just going to turn sideways here, end up slumping over a lot. And then as you can see, rounding out through our lower back, stretching out our upper back and losing our posture. And then perhaps at the end of the day, when we flop down on the couch, we do the opposite. We lean back and we end up slouching this way. So what this prolonged sitting does, we've got our vertebrae here in our lower back. Just imagine these are your 2 vertebrae. And as we're curling into that slouch position, or forward hunched position, that can put prolonged pressure on our discs, cause a weakness in the disc, and then that disc presses out onto our sciatic nerve, giving us that numbness down the leg, that ache in our lower back and hip area. So one of the simple things we can do to help with that is just to take a little towel like this, roll it up. I just threw an elastic around this. And give your lower back some support when you are sitting, because if you do have a desk job, if you're a driver and you spend a lot of time driving, you can't get away from sitting. Giving yourself that lower back support will make a big difference. So if I've got that little towel pressed here behind my lower back, as soon as I slouch, off it goes. It's going to remind me to keep my neutral posture, adjust my desk as I need to, and do my work from here. There's also, I'm sure, a ton of back supports you can find on Amazon. But try starting with the towel and see the difference that makes, or even prop up a little pillow behind your back as well. Another tip I really like, and I do this all the time myself, is when you get into your car, adjust your seat. So sit yourself right back, get the back of your seat upright with your adjustment there, and then adjust your rear view mirror. So this way, when you've got your rear view mirror adjusted, when you're in proper posture, each and every time you get into your car to drive, you're going to be sitting in that nice upright erect position. So our back is happiest when it's in a neutral position. So I'll talk about this for 2 seconds here. And if you can see here sideways, I have a natural curve in my lower back, and that's what we want to try to maintain, a little bit of a natural curve. So when you're sitting in your chair, find that pillow, try to maintain that natural curve. This also means that we want to have our shoulders drawn down and back, lengthening from our ears to shoulders so we're not up like this, and using those upper back muscles to squeeze those shoulder blades down and together. Our pelvis, our 2 hip bones, and our pubic bone of our pelvis should be facing down in one plane like this. So this means we're not in a posterior tilt like this, okay, rounding on our back, nor are we in an anterior tilt the other way. We're straight down and up. And I'll talk about this a little bit more when I go down to the mat and what a neutral pelvis looks like on the mat. Okay, so tip number 2 is to get up, what I'm doing right now. So every 30 minutes if you're standing, get up, walk around if you can. I know this may not be practical if you're driving for prolonged periods of time, but that is one of the best things you can do as well. If you're sitting at your desk, get up every 30 minutes and walk around. And number 3, once we're up, we want to stretch out our back and just try to reinforce that natural curve, getting that curve back if we've been sitting forward hunched at our desks. And a nice simple way to do this is just to push your hips forward, put your hands on your lower back like this or on your upper hip, look up to the ceiling and feel a good stretch like this. Now I will show you when we get down on the mat how to do a back extension on the mat, which is a lot more intense. But by all means, just standing up, pushing your hip forwards as many times as you can throughout the day will make a big difference. The other stretch that is really important to do here with my squeaky floors here, is to stretch out those hip flexors. So we want to push our hip forward and stretch this muscle right here. Because when we're sitting all day, driving on the couch, working, whatever it is, these muscles that run down from the hip up through into the lower vertebrae of our spine here get tight, get shortened, and pull on the pelvis, pull on the back, causing extra strain. So I'll just show you a hip flexor stretch right here. We want to push the hip forward, squeezing the opposite muscle, lengthening at the front of the thigh. Hold on to a chair. This isn't about challenging your balance right now. Focus on the stretch. Raise that same arm up, and then just imagine someone's tugging at your arm, and give yourself that side stretch like that. Now you can also do this stretch on the mat as well, but if you're doing this throughout the day, like I said, get up, walk around, add these two stretches, reaching back, throwing that hip flexor stretch. That's going to help reset your spine and give your back a break. All right, so now I'm going to take myself down to the mat, take my chair out of the way, and I'm going to take you through about 10 exercises here that are great for increasing your mobility in your joints, increasing your flexibility, and strengthening your core. Because we always want to strengthen the opposing muscles here, our core, when we're talking about our back. These are gentle exercises most everybody can do and every day. So grab a mat if you're watching the replay and you want to do these with me here. And you're going to start with a cat and cow. This is an excellent exercise to warm up with. We want to place our hands down under our shoulders, and we want to scoot in and under. Okay, so we're going to create that curve, curling our tailbone under, bringing our chin to chest, and then we're going to inhale and do the opposite. So this is a rather exaggeration of that extension I showed you when we were standing. Lift that chin, breathe through it, and then we're going to exhale up. So you only need to do about 10 of these exercises. This shouldn't take long, 5 or 10 minutes at the most. It's a great way to start your day. It's a great way to finish your day. Moving through these exercises to strengthen your core, keep that mobility through your back, your vertebrae, and then do a little bit of stretching as well. So I'll do a couple more here. I won't show you 10 repetitions of everything, but I will go through about 5 or 6. And breathe in. Try and get a little bit farther each time you go through into that back extension like so, and release. Okay, back into that neutral position I talked about. So nice flat back, shoulder blades across, belly button pulled into the spine here. And we're going to reach out the opposite arm and leg into a bird dog, and then place that handy knee down. Okay, so alternating sides, inhaling and then exhaling. Now when you do this bird dog, to keep that neutral spine, we want to keep those 2 hip bones parallel and square to the mat. We don't want to rotate and twist to get that leg higher up. Okay, it's not about how high you lift. Think about lengthening as we do this exercise and keeping those hips square. So really inhale, reach, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach, and then exhale, lower down. Now to make this exercise more difficult as you progress, you can stay with one side, and let's take that arm and leg off the midline, working on your balance a little bit more here. And then you could do 10 repetitions like this on either side. And then release. All right, so let's give ourselves a little stretch. Widen your knees, walk your arms forward, and release through the shoulders, lower back, dropping your head right down. So this is child pose stretch, a recovery position here after those 2 exercises. A great one to do to release through the lower back. And then you're going to come up. Okay, so back onto all fours. We're going to get some side flexion going on here. So I want you to allow yourself just to relax. So go into that little bit of an arch here. So allow your belly to fold down, your lower back to arch here. And this is called wag the tail. You're going to push your hip out and then just look behind like so. Then we're going to shift our weight and then we're going to turn the other way. So keeping mobility in our spine through a supported flexion to the side, right and left. Relax through your neck, and you may or may not see your hip or your feet, depending how tight your lower back is. Just go to where this feels okay. You don't want to feel any strain when you're doing these exercises. Just a slight stretch. And release. So that is wag the tail. Okay, down we go right onto our mat, and I'm going to teach you that back extension. So if you could throughout the day and you have time to get right down on your mat, this is a lot more intense here than the standing extension. You're going to draw your hands down under the shoulders as much as you can, and then work on just lifting up through the chest and then lowering down. Now, if you're really tight, your range of motion may be right here. That is totally okay. What I don't want you to do, and I see this in classes sometimes, is lift up. So you're up on your knees and you're lifting your pelvis up. We want to work on that back extension, and this actually creates space between the vertebrae. This is a great stretch to work on if you do have lower back pain. And release. And you're going to try to inhale up and then work as far up as you can get, and then slowly lower down. So this is a supported back extension here. Raising up, keeping the pelvis down, and release down. Good. All right, roll over onto your side. I've got one sideline exercise here for either side I'm going to show you. And this one is a sideline clamshell. So imagine you're stacking your back here up against an imaginary wall. You can see the side seam of your jacket, half that pointing straight up to the ceiling, knees slightly bent, feet together, and then we're going to just open up that knee and then lower it down. So I want you to think about using your core. You're going to exhale, hold the belly button to spine, and then release it. So this is strengthening here our external rotators of the hip. It's also strengthening your core to maintain this position. If you need to, place a hand in front. This will help you with your balance. And we want to just kind of come up for 1, for 2, pause, squeeze, and then release for 2. So I'll do that again. Our sideline clamshell, come up, pause, and then release down. When we talk about our core, it's not just our abdominals in the front. It's our glutes, our back extensors, and the front, kind of like the trunk of the tree. So roll yourself over, try the other side. If you are doing this with me, lay yourself down, aim for 10 or so repetitions. Bring those feet forward, feet together, and then just bring that knee up. Inhaling and then exhale, strengthening here these external hip muscles. And all these exercises should be safe for most people, but please, if you are experiencing sciatica or you may have a bulging disc, check with your physician first. Make sure these exercises are good for you, or if you're trying them and you do experience any pain or you don't feel comfortable, please don't do them. Get some advice first. Open that knee and then release. So that's our sideline clamshell. Almost done. So roll yourself onto your back. Carefully bring yourself right down. Lay your head down and your arms at your side. So I've just got a couple here to finish showing you. And we're going to start by doing a little pelvic tilt. So I want you to press down into your lower back, picking that tailbone up. And then we're going to tilt the other way, making a little space. So just do a couple pelvic tilts like this. And then we're going to get ourselves set into that neutral position. So stop halfway in between, guys. Belly button pulled into the spine. You may or may not have a little space under there, okay? But we're trying to think about keeping those 2 hip bones and our pubic bone of our pelvis parallel with the ceiling. So we're not tilting up and we're not tilting down. And then when we have this position, we are going to add a heel slide out and then place that leg in. So level 1, you're just taking that leg out and back, really slow, really controlled, using these core muscles to keep that pelvis from moving. Level 2, you can make this harder. Of course, you can make any exercise harder. Reach those arms overhead as well. And bring them back down with those legs. And release. Good. Relax those arms down at your side. Step your feet in a little closer, and we're going to finish with a bridge. So squeeze those hip muscles, lift your hips up like so. And this is strengthening the back of the legs, our hips. Here's our core. Pause at the top, and then we're going to roll down. So rather than just lifting straight up and down, okay, I want you to think about doing that pelvic tilt, pressing into your lower back, pressing up through those hips, and then one vertebrae at a time, lower yourself down, and then curl that tailbone out and away. All right, so finish with this bridge, squeezing up, and then lower down. All right, so that's it for those exercises. I'll give you a couple stretches for your hips that are important to do. Cross one foot over the other knee, pushing that knee away, keeping your back down either side, stretching through the hip. This is one of my favorites to do. And then reach through if you like into that figure 4, and then you should feel this all around the hip. Our hips get super tight as well from sitting. It is all connected, all these muscles all around our pelvis. So stretching out our hips is a preventative measure as well for back pain. Take a deep breath in, bring that leg a little farther, and then release. And then a third stretch for your hip, which I love. Grab hold of that top leg and bring it in and across to your opposite shoulder. So this really gets deep into your piriformis muscle, into your glutes there. So give that leg a squeeze in front. And ideally, you would hold these a little longer than I am holding them today. I'm just going through these quickly to show you. And your final stretch here would be through the hamstring. Extend that leg up. Keep that neutral pelvis. This is really important. And draw that leg towards your chest. Relax. So as straight as you can get that leg. Now, if you've got a band or a towel, throw that around the foot. This is a great way to have an assisted stretch if your hamstring's tight. Draw the band or towel in and release. Okay, let's do the other leg. So cross it over. Push the knee away. Get started into your figure 4. So stretching out from that external rotation. Reach through, make your figure 4. Deep breath, relax down. And stretch out that hip. Now when you're doing this one, you can kind of rock side to side. Find a spot where it feels good. And then just stay there. And release. And now grab hold of that top leg, keeping it bent. Bring it in and over towards that opposite shoulder. Take that deep breath. And this one again goes into your piriformis a little more. And this muscle can get very tight as well and also be a contributing factor to that sciatica. Pressing on the nerve, runs right alongside that nerve, and release. Okay, your hamstring, take that leg up, straight as you can get that, or again, throw a towel, throw a band around that foot, keeping your pelvis in neutral, bring the leg up, 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 up. Relax your shoulders and stretch the back of your leg. All right, that is it. Roll yourself up. I hope that helped. I just jumped on today to do a quick little video about this, to talk about the sciatica and back pain. Be sure to like my page if you want more videos and tips like this. And if you head over to my website, I will put the link below. You can sign up to get my weekly email, and so you get all the latest with recipes, tips, and workouts too. Thanks for watching, and if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Leave me a comment below, and if you felt this was useful, you can share the video as well. Have a great day, guys.